I hope everyone's staying warm in the ice. I have 3 inches of ice in my backyard here in Dallas. Dallas, Texas is a new city of ice. I guess that's what you call it, because we've got a good hockey team and we've got ice literally all over the city. Please stay safe. Stay off the roads. Don't do anything crazy. If you have skates and a puck and a stick, I would recommend going outside and skating because it's pretty much frozen everywhere right now in Dallas. Stars did win the other night against the St. Louis Blues. We got a good win there, a thriller, a fun one. Welcome to Clean Sheet of Ice, a Texas hockey podcast. I'm your host, Stone Strinkman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How we doing, bud?
You know, this cold weather, it's a different cold in the South when it does get this cold. Like, I don't think people understand. But it seemed that, the Stars are still red hot, even with this cold weather going on. I mean, they played a fine 3 periods of hockey, and I hope they get out of town before they get frozen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Dallas Mavericks are still on the tarmac at the last time I looked, about 15 minutes ago. They have a game tonight at 6 p.m. Not happening.
I don't know about that.
They're not getting off that tarmac. Or they're going to get off the tarmac. They're going to go back inside and they're going to go back to the hotel or their homes or wherever they can get to safely, hopefully. Obviously, the Mavericks had a game last night when the snow really started to set in, the ice started to set in. So Stars had practice today at Comerica Center, I believe, and I didn't go. There's no way I'm going anywhere for the next several days. So I don't know how anyone else is driving. Literally, I don't like, even 4-wheel drive isn't going to help you on ice. I don't know.
No.
So yeah, it's fun. I don't know how they're going to get to St. Louis on Tuesday, but maybe they'll figure that out. Maybe they leave on Tuesday morning when it starts to get a little bit warmer. They're able to fly in, play that game of, just like they do if they're on the road right after the Christmas break. They're not allowed to travel until the day of the 27th. So they typically play games on the 27th. So they're typically flying that morning, getting off, basically getting a nap in and going right to the arena. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday, but working backwards. Stars played the Blues the other night. Interesting game. I didn't go. Shout out to Savannah, though. Savannah was the in-game host, if you didn't see that on Twitter. We kind of alluded to it in that Friday episode, but we didn't want to spoil anything for us. So, shout out to Savannah, in-game host, first time running that for the Dallas Stars. She's done a bunch of in-game hosts for other teams, but that was cool. And she got to do it for a win. I think that was the best part. We're 2-1 since the fire sacrifice. People are talking about it.
I mean, hey, when the Clean Sheet of Ice crew is doing something like important, the Stars seem to notice, because every time I've gone up to AC, they've won. Savannah now has a hot streak going. We're just on a heater with this podcast.
I guess so. We'll kick it back to that first period, though. I thought they started off decent. I think it was a lot like the Boston game where they were kind of trading blows the first 5 minutes roughly. But then the Stars go on a pretty early power play, and you're like, man, that would be pretty cool if they could score a power play goal. Mr. Power Play, by the way, Wyatt Johnston. Interesting entry, I will say, is like where they were going from the back blue line from the defensive zone and into, they didn't do a double drop. They just did the single drop, and Rope got into the ozone, dumps it off to Mikko. Then Mikko sends it over to Rope back to Miro, and then Miro fires it towards the net. Wyatt gets the rebound. Wyatt Johnston now has 17 power play goals this season through 50 games. The Stars record is 18 by Mike Modano back a long time ago now. Wyatt Johnston is going to shatter that record here in maybe a week. It might not take too long where he's going to surpass 18 power play goals for the season and have the new Dallas Stars record.
I think he's like second on the team in goals. Like he just, it's unbelievable the year he's having. And one thing with the ups and downs this season, one thing you can count on is Wyatt Johnston being in a position to make a play. And that's where he was on that power play.
Yeah, it wasn't the normal feed him into the slot and he just has the one-timer. It was a rebound one-timer where they just didn't get a stick in front of him and tie him up or anything like that. They just kind of let him. There was a lot of traffic and everything, but they just let him have the stick wherever he wanted, and he fires that one in, top shelf. It was a fun goal. Starts off the game pretty hot there, gets the home crowd into it. It's a little bit lighter of a crowd, obviously, with the weather and everything in Dallas. But they still seem to be into it. I wasn't at the game. I wasn't in the arena. I was at home safely just watching the snow and the rain fall down and just hoping to God that I have enough food for the next 5 days, I guess. I don't know. Just hoping for the best. But good start to the game. Then it just kind of happens again. You go on the power or on the penalty kill, not a good time, and then you killed most of the penalty. I think there was maybe 23, 27 seconds left on that penalty left, and Dvorsky scores on the power play from Buchnevich and Jordan Kyrou, and you're just like, all right, well, it's 1-1. It could be worse. It could be better. You'd like it to be a lot better. Like it to be like the Boston game where you're up 2-0 into that one, but it was a good goal. Snuck through Jake through the glove. I think he had it, and it was just a slap shot that had a lot of power behind it. The glove couldn't hold it. Sneaks into the goal. It is what it is. It's 1-1.
Yeah, it was a huge blast. I mean, there's not too much complaining here from me. They worked hard on that power play for St. Louis, so it was just a well run power play, and a very back and forth game very early in the start.
Yeah, it was a lot of blow by blow for both teams. I think one team would have good ozone pressure and have a few shots on goal, and then the next team would do it, and the next team would do it, and the next. It was just back and forth, a little seesaw game in that first period. And then obviously you get to the second period about 4 minutes in, and they have a little bit of a rush, and they come in. The defense just doesn't cover the point, which has been a big struggle over the last month. And when they haven't been scoring goals and they haven't been playing great defense, covering the point has been one of the biggest issues there in the slot. And it happened again. They get another one-timer pass, just a little tic-tac-toe action from Buchnevich, Neighbors, and Fowler. So Buchnevich gets that goal. They're up 2-1 about 4 minutes in, and you're just like, it's happening again, isn't it? It's just happening. I tweeted out a meme of that little kid from Disney where he's looking out or looking away from the window and he's just super tired and you see the bags and the dark circles under his eyes. I tweeted that out with hashtag Texas Hockey right after this goal because I was just like, I'm tired of them not covering the point in the slot. And I'm tired of us just not being able to get a lead and hold it. Like that is just frustrating at that point. Obviously, it's very early in the second period, but we just watched a Columbus game that was 1-0 after 8 minutes. And they weren't able to get a singular goal to come back and tie that one. So I was ready for that, but thankfully that wasn't the rest of the game.
Yeah, you get so scared as a Stars fan when you see that puck in the slot because we've seen all year long kind of not good things happen. And it always ends up being somebody just kind of reaching too far on the forecheck, which I don't have a problem with because when we do have a good forecheck, like it does bode very successful for Dallas. It's just when it's you're hitting a home run or you're striking out, and that moment we struck out.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, we're up in the press box and we're watching on TV, so we're not in the muck, and the game's a lot faster than what you think. I think when you got to sit on basically on the glass a few months ago against Ottawa, you were just like, oh, it's like crazy down here. They're talking in Finnish, they're talking in English. It's way faster down there than it is when we usually watch the game. So I think we have to kind of step back and look at it that way. But when it keeps happening over and over and over again, it's just like at some point you've got to realize what your mistake is, and somehow the coaching staff or the players or whoever's got to fix it. It's going to happen over time. Just like we saw the first 3 weeks of the season, we're like, man, they're not that good on defense. A little sloppy, forgetting assignments, forgetting where they should be. And then they shorted up for about 2 months. And then obviously late December comes and it's back. But that's okay because this was the second period, 4 minutes in. The next goal, power play goal from Matt Duchene, who absolutely needed a goal of any sorts, of any kind. It was a great goal. It was a great rush. Weird power play entrance. Obviously, Duchene comes right onto the ice for a change. Miro sends it over into the neutral zone to Robo. Robo carries it in, drops it off for Wyatt Johnson, who quickly sends it over to Matt Duchene, who's streaking down the left side. Sends a little one-timer in past Jordan Bennington, which was fun. That was a good time. You're tied 2-2. Just about 3.5 minutes after you allowed the go-ahead goal from the St. Louis Blues. So you're like, okay, they worked quick. Obviously, it's a power play. You'd rather score a few 5-on-5s, but when they have the power play chances, you'd like to see them convert. And Matt Duchene getting a goal there was absolutely massive for probably his confidence and the rest of this team's confidence.
I thought the exact same thing when that goal goes in. I was like, boy, did Dutchie need that goal. And it came on a night, I think his son was like one of the
Bo.
Yeah, he was on the ice pregame. So it was probably a great night for him and just the Dutch family in general. But yeah, like you see that those guys buzzing those passes, And if Dutch's wrister is going to be that quick, like this is what we've been looking for from that second and third line, and being a threat. And God, it was such a great goal, especially at the moment too.
Yeah, and especially because Mikko Rantanen hasn't played in a few games, and obviously heading into this game, he did not take line rushes, so everyone's like, "Fuck, he's out again." It's going to be
Yeah.
tough. And then he comes in the lineup. They tweet out like he's playing, all that kind of stuff, and you're fine, you're okay. And Ernie's out, Mikko's in, feeling good. At points in this game, they started rolling out the Robo Rope Mikko line, which I thought was interesting. We haven't seen that a lot since, I think we saw it a good bit last year, and then they started to change the lines up a little bit. Obviously, Mikael Granlund addition adds to that, where they can throw him on the left wing or at center or whatever and play that with Mikko and Rope. Having the Robo Rope Mikko line takes away from the other lines. It does at the end of the day, because you don't have Mikko on a separate line. You don't have Rope and Robo on a separate line. However, wildly dangerous. They look so good together. They did last year. They're a really good threesome together. I think that's a really fun line to throw together later in games if you needed something, a little more action in the late second period or into the third period. But I thought it was fun, and I thought it was interesting that goalie was like, you know what, I'm fucking tired of it. Just put the three horses together and see what happens.
Yeah, and particularly in the first two periods, really in the second, you saw Dallas kind of step on St. Louis's toes, and we saw Dallas speed up a team, which we haven't seen in a while. And when
Mm.
you're speeding up a team, you get those open chances to make a play. And when we get those chances to make a play, we do well. So it was really nice to see the quick passing, the rushing, like everything just kind of clicked in that second. It got to a point where I think St. Louis was just like, screw this. I'm just going to hold, a Dallas Stars player. I don't care if I get a penalty. And we were seeing a bunch of penalties in that second period.
Yeah, they had 5 total power plays. I think the Blues had 4 penalties in the second period alone. There was only one period or penalty in the third period. It was Nils Lundqvist for holding 8 minutes into the period. But you kill off that power play, you feel pretty good in the third period. Like I said, you have Rope, Robo, and Mikko on a line. That brings us down to about a minute and a half. They have a really good shift. They have the hell of a shift, honestly. Puck's frozen. They get the face-off dot. Rope hints. Wins the face-off, doesn't win the face-off, but keeps the face-off and the puck near him, right? He holds out that right leg with his skate. The skate keeps it attached to Rope. Rope is then able to find Robo somehow and get a stick on it over to Robo. Robo's one-on-one versus the goaltender, essentially. And I, watching it on TV, could not process that in real time. I just had no idea. Robo scores that goal, top shelf on Jordan Binnington, who's probably going to be starting goalie for Team USA or for Team Canada. And guess who's not on Team USA? The guy that scored a magnificent goal with a minute left in the game. Robo wins the game. 30th goal of the season. Only 3 players at that time had 30 goals or more in this season. It's Connor McDavid, it's Nathan MacKinnon, and it's Jason fucking Robertson. And 2 of the 3 are going to Milan, and 1 of them is left at home. Oh, and by the way, the guy that has the 4th most goals in the NHL, Cole Caulfield, also another American, left at home. By the way, 2 of the top 4 scorers of goals, which is the main objective of hockey, are being left at home from Milan for Vincent Trocheck, JT Miller. There's some really good guys. I know someone was chirping me about Clayton Keller being on the team and like, hey, he's a really good player. I was like, yeah, I didn't mind the Clayton Keller pick. I just minded that JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck made it. Pick one of them. Can't pick both. It's unbelievable. But that Robo goal was also unbelievable because I was like, fuck it, whatever. We got a point on OT. Like, I'm okay with that. And then he just scores a goal, and I'm just like fist pumping in my living room, like, and my dog's looking at me like, what just happened? So
that's the crazy thing about this is most goals by an American right now. And if you watch the Stars as religiously as we do, all of his goals are unreal, filthy. Like there are no empty netters. There's no like wide open nets. They're all goals that maybe 5 guys in the world can make. And the speed that he gets those shots off. And we'll have to ask Savannah because she was in the building. I don't know how many people were in that building. But when that goal went in and Jason Robertson starts celebrating, it erupted in the AAC. Like it was it was like a walk-off home run. I mean,
yeah,
just unbelievable play by Rupe. And then to just I didn't notice this in real time until we saw the slow-mo from Victory Plus. It was a little bit of a dangle to get that shot off, which was unreal because most people are just saying, screw it, I'm just going to put this puck on the net. No, he kind of backhand, forehand, and then top shelf. Good night, Dallas. Stay warm. That goal was for my cats. Like, it's just this guy. Like, I was thinking this as I was kind of winding down from the excitement. This team really goes as far as Jason Robertson takes them. When he's committed and when he's mentally in the game, we get unbelievable shots. When he kind of just, is stuck in no man's land and his mind's not there, that's when we get those games where we're like struggling to get a shot on net. And this guy's just too important to the team. Like, he is the engine this season. I thought it would be somebody else, but we've learned Jason Robertson is the catalyst for this Dallas Stars team.
Yeah, it turns out scoring goals is important. Shocking development in the game of hockey where goals are harder than they've ever been to come by in this sport.
Yeah.
These games used to be 7-6 all the time, and they never had to elevate the puck because the goalies didn't wear masks and didn't have the proper padding and things like that. You got to think about it. It is harder to score a goal in the NHL than it has ever been to be able to score a goal. And Jason Robertson is the third best guy in the world right now at scoring goals. And they're just like, you know what? Smaller ice, less physical game. Maybe, give me Vincent Trocheck, PK guy, whose defensive metrics and offensive metrics are so far down in the dumps this year in comparison to his past. JT Miller, same thing, the guy that just gives up on a play every single night. There's a new video clip of JT Miller just skating aimlessly into the void when there's a power play or a penalty kill or anything going on in the hockey game. They're always getting scored on in those clips too. Absolutely insane that Robo's not on this Milan USA team. It's insane. Like you said, he scored it for his cat. All the goals he scores are for his cat. He must really love his cat. He just keeps scoring.
Must be a great cat.
Looks like a great cat. I'd hang out with the cat. So, and like you said, there's a little bit of a dangle. He was dusting that puck off, dude. He was just dusting it off. He's like, I know exactly where I'm going. Just let me get it a little bit cleaner. Let it come off the stick a little bit cleaner without the snow on it. And we'll just fire this puppy top right corner past Jordan Bennington, who is one of the better goalies in this world, and is probably the best goalie for Team Canada coming to Milan. And of course, Robo scores on. Of course. Bill Guerin is just sitting there like, no, I'd rather have the Rangers, who are in the last place and are in a fire sale right now. Like, what are we doing? Like, no one wants their players. No one's bought any. Like, no one's traded for any of their players, and the Rangers don't even want their players. How could Team USA want those guys?
This is like 2 years in a row where the Rangers have just been abysmal, and players are like, yeah, it might be time for me to get out of here.
And they put out a letter to the fans. They're like, hey, we're going to be shipping everybody out that we don't think is going to be a future of this team. So be on the lookout for that. JT Miller's one of these candidates right now that's probably going to be shipped out because he's like the worst captain in New York Rangers history, which is saying something because they've had a handful of them, but absolutely insane.
Yeah, New York is just so weird to me. I try to believe in these New York Knicks, and it just hasn't panned out. It's not working. And the Rangers, it's the same thing. Like the Devils, although New Jersey, they're a fun, Stars aren't in. Like, I'll be interested in what happens with them, but it's always weird in New York City.
Yeah, it's a strange place. But Stars win 3-2, miracle goal with about a minute, right at a minute left with Jason Robertson, his 30th goal of the season. Wyatt Johnson has 27 now. Matt Duchene gets his 5th of the year. They got outshot in that game 19-22, so it was a very, very low shooting game, but they won the face-off advantage by a long shot, 59.6%. They were 40% on the power play, not a ton of penalty minutes. Hits were at 16, still a little low. Block shots were at 16. They had more giveaways, but they had less takeaways. So it's like, it was an okay game. I don't think it was great, but getting 2 power play goals and having a last-minute goal there from Robo when you put the top dogs on one line together and threw them out there with Miro Heiskanen for that last draw right there, and Thomas Harley, like they completely loaded up on that last possession right there to score that goal with just a minute left. So you take a win however you can get it. You're still a point back from Minnesota with a game in hand. So not like we're playing Minnesota in round 1. So like, what's the point of even thinking about it? But I don't know. Good win. And you needed it before the Snowmageddon started hitting Dallas.
Yeah, and it's good to see a win where, we've seen the Stars come down a goal, 2 goals, and come back and win. We've seen the Stars just trounce people. But to be in a tight game like that and then pull it out right before it ends, because Lord knows we have not looked good in overtime. It was great to see, and really good for just the city of Dallas to get something. Because boy, that I'm in Houston and there's literally no ice on the roads right now, and I've seen videos of up there right around AAC. Like it might be bad for a few days. So
yeah, it might be. And like you said, that was good to have a little come from behind win and not have to go to OT. That was huge. We haven't had that all month. We've had the loss against Chicago where you had that last like a goal with 30 something seconds left to get within 1. You had the OT loss to the Canadians right after that. Got killed by Carolina. You kind of just killed the Capitals. You have that collapse against the Sharks where you had two goal leads at one point and losing overtime. You win a scrappy one in LA 3-1. Didn't have to come from behind in that one. You lose a bad one in Anaheim 3-1. You lose in Utah 2-1. Couldn't come from behind in that one. You lost to Tampa. Got kind of just outclassed in that game. Then you outclassed Boston the next game on a 7-game win streak. You win 6-2. No adversity in that one. Then Columbus couldn't score a goal when they scored 8 minutes into the game. Couldn't score 1. And on a back-to-back, you go to St. Louis. You win 3-2, coming from behind at home on the second night of a back-to-back on the eve of Snowmageddon. Like that's just a good gutsy win that we saw earlier in the season. And now the problem is now we got to start stacking them. You're 2-2 last week in 4 games. If you can start stacking them, if you can go 5-2 in a 7-game stretch, or can you go 6-1 in a 7-game stretch? That's kind of what we're needing the Stars to kind of do heading into the Olympic break here in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, and if we can roll into that break with some momentum, that break's going to bode well for the guys not going. We're going to get Liam Bishop back, and I promise you those hit totals are going to come back up. When those hit totals come back up, that's when you see Dallas really take advantage of these open ice opportunities.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Liam Bishop is traveling with the team for the road trip next week for 3 games. He is not playing in the road trip, according to goalie. I will put a caveat on that because when Thomas Harley, Ilya Lyubushkin, and like everyone and their mother were hurt, Nils Lundqvist as well, like everyone on the defense was hurt earlier in the season in December. Goalie said, yeah, Thomas Harley's going to be traveling, will not be playing. Literally played the first game of like a 2-3 game road trip. So I don't expect to see Liam Bishop, but I would not be surprised if Liam Bishop shows up against Vegas or Utah to end the month of January. Obviously, you head into February, you get 2 games at home, and then in the first week, and then you get the whole Olympic break there for about 3 weeks, and then you get 2 more games at home to end the month. So you don't have to leave the city of Dallas. You don't have to leave your home the whole month if you didn't want to, if you're a player of the Stars, or you can go on vacation for 3 weeks and go to Hawaii, go somewhere warm, play some golf, get some rest and relaxation, a little R&R for the boys that aren't going to Milan and the ones that are going to Milan. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see what this road trip looks like. Obviously, they've been on the road a lot this month, and it hasn't been very good. I'd like to see the tides turn a little bit there.
Yeah, like every year in the NFL season, Kansas City always has a few weeks kind of right in the middle or towards the end where they just don't look like the normal Kansas City Chiefs. But then when it's time to turn it on, they always do. This year, it was just straight injuries that plagued them. So luckily, I think this year is one of my favorite NFL playoff slates that we've had. So it's been fun without him, but I can definitely see a world where Dallas really starts to string it together. And then, everyone kind of just dismisses that they're still top 3, like as up and down as they've been. Colorado's literally never been down all year, but
till recently.
Yeah. And so like you get a red hot Dallas team at the right time. It'll bode well way more than, going through these lumps right now.
Yeah, Colorado got the shit beat out of them against the Flyers on Friday. It's like 7-3. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10, so it's nothing like absolutely crazy. Obviously, that's 4 regulation losses, and they had like 2 at one point for a while. So Speaking of Colorado, former Colorado Avalanche player Mikko Rantanen. We've got a bobblehead, Mikko Rantanen bobblehead. We're giving it away at 250 subscribers. We want to give this away along with Mikko Rantanen, Mikko's Apple Orchard shirt that we're going to release here pretty soon, probably during the Olympic break. That way you can grab them during the Olympic break and have them back for the end of the month in February. That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. So Mikko Rantanen bobblehead, we're giving away at 250 subscribers on our YouTube channel at Clean Sheet of Ice. So hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. If you're an audio listener, we appreciate you on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get it. But we'd love to have that subscription on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button so we give away a Mikko Rantanen bobblehead, so we can do that giveaway on that episode where we hit 250. Before we get out of here, let's talk about the Blues again. We're playing them again on Tuesday, if we can get there. It's an ESPN Plus / Hulu game, so it will not be on Victory Plus. So everyone, that is a PSA. It's Monday when this is coming out. We're recording this on Sunday. It is an ESPN Plus Hulu game. So if you're not traveling to St. Louis, which if you're able to travel to St. Louis, you obviously don't live in the DFW area. So good for you. Yeah, you're not going to be able to watch it on Victory Plus, and you're not going to have Bogey or Razor in your ears. So just prepare for that. Don't panic when you can't find it for the first 10 minutes before the game starts. All right? Don't panic.
Yeah, no. And I think the Stars have had like a situation like this where they've played a back-to-back team on back-to-back games. And I think we split the last one. It was 1-1. But if we can double dip St. Louis, because I don't know who's going to be in net for them, but if it's Bennington, like Bennington always gives Dallas a good game. So, yeah, like if we can double dip St. Louis and just finish out, get to the Olympic break, like most times it's like just get to the All-Star break, but right now it's just get to Milan. Like, can we get there? Can we get some heat going? And if we can, that rest is going to do well for us.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And I'd like to start the road trip off with a win. I'm looking through the schedule right now. I don't see a game where we played back-to-back teams in back-to-back games, or the same team in back-to-back games so far this season, but it has been done in the past. Obviously, it's not a uncommon thing for that to happen. I think it happens later in the season after this. I'm just not going to keep scrolling past that. But playing Blues back-to-back games, you obviously see how tough of a team they are to play against. It's Jim Montgomery. We're familiar with Jim Montgomery, former Stars coach once upon a time, and he was a great Stars coach. Obviously, led him to some pretty big highs, bigger highs than we've had seen for like a decade at that point with Stars fans. So he's a good coach. He coaches them hard. They play hard. They're really hard at the blue line. And obviously, when you have a good goalie, the scores aren't going to be crazy. So obviously, going on the road, they're going to be a little bit pissed that they gave that one up and didn't get a point out of it. So you just got to be aggressors at the beginning, first 5 minutes, just like you did the last time, trade those blows and maybe get the first goal and kind of see what happens from there. Because when the Stars score the first goal, they're typically really, really, really good this year. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Score the first goal, get past Benner if it's Benner, or if it's their backup, then get past him first 10 minutes, and then you can kind of go off and running and start playing your game from there.
Yeah, you want this team to stay fast, because when they stay fast, they're dangerous.
Yeah, when Dutchy's going, like Maverick Bork and Sam Steele were going pretty much the other night too. Like they were getting a handful of breakaways. They ended up getting caught, or if it was not on the right side of their stick, whatever it was. But like creating chaos is kind of what the Stars need to get back to. And we saw a lot of good rushes there against the Blues the other night on Friday. And if you can have the rushes, you can create a little bit of chaos, get in front of Benner a little bit, good things happen. So the passing's there. The passing's always going to be there. They're snapping it around, tic-tac-toeing all the time. We saw that a good bit against the Blues. So just like get to the hard areas, create some chaos, create some rushes. I think that's how you win this game.
Yeah, and, Harley hasn't stood out too much, but I think his play has been a lot better.
Did you see his scorecard the other night?
I did not, no.
I think he was the either first or second highest scorecard on the hockey scorecard the other night. Thomas Harley was. And I think he only had really one bad play from what I can remember against the Blues, where it's like, that wasn't great. But that kind of just is Thomas Harley. There's going to be one play every night, and you're like, that's not good. But as long as a goal doesn't go in, it's going to be fine. So I think Harles is back.
That's what I was going to get to. I think he's back to the form that's gotten that contract that we all know he deserved.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, let's take a look at the stats. Obviously, he doesn't have a ton of stats. He missed a bunch of games there. He's played 40 games so far, and he has 18 points. So it's nothing like spectacular. He's obviously not on the power play a ton anymore, with Miro being the quarterback and goalie just leaving the top unit out for a minute and a half, minute 45. He's getting like the short end of the stick and having to play with Essa Lindell for the last 30 seconds of a power play when last year he was the quarterback and he was playing 2 minutes on the power play. He was able to get a lot of points that way. He was a lot more of an aggressor last year, but he's starting to find his footing. I think the points are going to start going up pretty good here. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up with like 40, 45 points this year with the slow start through 40 games.
And I'm not going to lie to you. Like there was a moment where his play was not screaming Team Canada. So I did get nervous for like a couple of days, but if he gets back to Thomas Harley and then has another great Olympic run, like you make one more trade for maybe a D and God, this team is going to be nasty.
If you just find a top 6 left winger or even a right winger to go on the second line, honestly, like I'm okay with the D once the Bishop comes back.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Obviously, he wants more depth, but you feel pretty good with Petro, Capo, Nils, Labushkin. Like, you got enough depth, I think. If you get Liam Bishop back and you'd go get that top 6 left or right winger, like, that'd be fun. It'd just be a lot of fun for the offense, I think. Then it evens everything else out, I think, is what happens.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen our D-core at full strength playing well altogether. Because, like, Bishop gets hurt, Harley gets hurt. Like,
well, no, it started before that. It was Nils, right? In game 5.
Yeah, Nils.
And Harley came in banged up.
Right.
So he wasn't 100%. And then Nils gets knocked out in game 5, I think, with the ankle injury. And then we saw Bishop go down, right before we got Harley and everybody else back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, you were missing like 4 D-men at one time.
Yeah, and Dallas will forever be this case study of, listen, I have not played ice hockey at any kind of remotely high level. This whole left shot, right shot thing, I don't know completely to the full extent. All I know is our guys know how to defend, and you get them passing well on the power play, like our forwards are good enough to go clean up the scraps for them. It's always weird, like right shot D. I don't get it. I just know that, our guys are comfortable in their positions once we do get fully healthy.
Yeah, we talked to goalie about that earlier in the season. I don't remember when it was, but we asked him about playing Miro maybe on the left side a little bit because Miro's a left shot. He's naturally a left-handed D-man. He plays on the left side. He's never once played on the left side in his NHL career. Came in, got paired up with Klinger. John Klingberg was a left shot. He was the guy. He was running the quarterback. He was the quarterback on the power play. He's the guy that scores points. He does that. So he played left side. So Miro's like, fuck it. I'll just play right side. I'm good. He's got a good enough stick. He's got a great hands, great skating ability, and all that kind of stuff. Who's pretty much only played on the right side his entire NHL career, which is absolutely astounding that he just keeps doing that. But then goalie comes in and he's just like, look, if you're going to play offhand or offside or whatever you call the left-handed, right-handed D-man or whatever, he's like, if you got to do that, the number one thing you look at is skating ability. When Kolyachonok, welcome back, Vladislav Kolyachonok, he's back, claimed off waivers. I believe he gets to go to AHL now because no one else put a claim on him, so that's cool. Really good skater, has great feet, all that kind of stuff. And goalie was like, I don't mind putting him on the right side because I know he's a good skater. He can catch up, he can do things, he can be ahead of the curve, and obviously Miro's one of the best at that. So him playing right-handed doesn't really affect him because he's going to have the left stick. And it's a good advantage sometimes on the offensive side of the puck because he's always facing the other D-man like automatically. He doesn't have to turn the opposite way. So he can get slap shots in if Essa sends it over to him on the top side, or if someone sends it back up to him, like his slap shot is more readily available and on the good side of having a slap shot at that point. Just like Mikko Rantanen on the right side playing left-handed.
Yeah.
So goalie likes that. Goalie likes that a lot. Just fun.
See, this is why you subscribe to this podcast, because you can only get this type of stuff from Clean Sheet of Ice.
Yeah, and everyone else in the room when goalie had that conversation. So there's a lot of good reporters out there. I think we've all tweeted it out at some point, but having it kind of spelled out for myself when I was in the room with goalie and he was mentioning it, just like, look, you got to be a good skater. You got to be good with your stick. And then outside of that, like you can just kind of pick it up from there. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But we've also seen it with Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn's been playing on the right side a good bit this year as well. He came in and immediately played right wing in that first game back from his punctured lung, I think, against Edmonton. So it just kind of happens. It's just like you get set up. If you've ever played NHL and you're playing hut, I always did that because the one-timers, if you ever get those cross-crease passes in video games, which is pretty much the only way you could score in the most previous NHL games over the last 3-4 years, the only way you can really score is those cross-crease passes that right tucked in next to the goalie. And the best way to get the one-timer on it is if the opposite-handed guys on the left and the right wing. So I've been doing that in NHL, having no idea if that was good or not. It just worked for a video game. And now we're seeing it with the Stars, where you see that a lot. There's a lot of guys that'll play the offside. Like Maverick Borks played a little bit of the left wing earlier in the season. So it's an interesting thing because not a ton of teams do it. There's a handful of guys in the league that like it. Like Mikko Rantanen just naturally likes to play the right wing, even though he's a left shot. So it's fun. It's interesting.
I feel like I mean, I'm left-handed. I feel like I would prefer a right. Like you just get the angles that you wouldn't get on the opposite.
Yeah. Whenever I do be a pro career in NHL years ago, I'm a left-handed shot. I would always go on the right wing.
Yeah.
And just like feed me, see if I can get some one-timers. I just want to see if I can slap shot it in. It's never good at that game. But yeah, it's a good time. Hit that subscribe button. We want to give away that Mikko Rantanen bobblehead at 250 subscribers. We got the Blues on Tuesday. Tomorrow, as you're listening to this, hopefully the Stars can get out of town. Hopefully the Dallas roads start to melt a little bit, and we can get some road traffic out there so we can go get some food or groceries or just go outside, and not freeze to death. That'll be fun. Dom, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Just God, can we get? I mean, it's not even bad down here, but
no.
Like I've seen the images up in Dallas, and I just please don't make a bad decision. Like driving on those roads is just you're asking for trouble. And I hope the Mavericks can get to there. I don't think it's gonna happen. But like everybody stay safe out there. Like Robo said, stay warm. Stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm. The Mavericks are now deplaning in Dallas after a lengthy wait on the tarmac to see if they could fly out. I think they've already they've rescheduled the Mavericks-Bucks game. That was scheduled for tonight for a later date. Mavericks going home. So, yeah, everybody be safe. Please don't go on the roads. Like, if you're going to go on the roads, like, ice skate. Don't drive. Please. It's so dumb to drive right now. Unless it's not. If you're listening to this podcast and you're not in the DFW area and you're somewhere safe, so that's okay if you go outside and drive. But if you're in the DFW area, please just be safe.
Yeah, and hopefully this is only a few days.
Yeah. Sun started to come out a little bit today, so we'll see. We'll see how long this lasts. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on Clean Sheet Advice on YouTube or wherever you get Clean Sheet Advice on audio platforms like Apple, Spotify, where we also have video on Spotify in 4K. People are talking about it. Not a big deal. We love you guys. We'll be back. Let's get a win on the road. Start the road trip off strong, and then start February off strong, and then go to the Olympics, go to the break, go to Hawaii, play some golf, maybe get some warmth. We'll be back on Wednesday with another episode of Clean Sheet Advice, Texas Hockey Podcast.